I mean, intelligence is okay. So that's why a lot of times they don't like America doesn't like intelligence tests right now. IQ tests, they don't like them because they divide people, right? It's separating like the bell curve of intelligence is a way to divide people, right? A lot of times they don't want people identified as being smarter, okay? Because it makes people who are not as smart feel bad,
Okay.
okay? But when we were kids, they had all sorts of tests that try to see how smart we were. There was the Iowa test for one, okay?
We talked about that the
You
other
have
day.
a lot of tests for intelligence, okay? These IQ tests determine your ability to think and reason,
Yep.
right?
We had exit exams where it's like if you didn't think or reason at a certain level, you need to
Yeah.
stay in school.
Now, of course, there's other tests that see SATs don't measure intelligence. Okay, well, kind of it's an aptitude, but SATs they force you to apply things you've learned. It's a knowledge test, like tests in school. They're knowledge tests. They're not testing to see how smart you are. They're testing to see if you've retained the knowledge in the materials, right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to pass a history exam. You just have to read the materials enough that you remember the material. Okay? So the tests that they administer do nothing to tell you how smart. I mean, like an idiot can pass that test as long as if he's forced to read the material over and over and over again, he'll pass it, right? Super smart person will fail it if they don't read the material because the test is about knowledge. Doesn't matter how
Mm,
smart you are. If you don't know the answer, you don't know the answer,
yep.
right? You can guess at it, okay, but it's not the same as knowing, right? But Iowa tests are all about intelligence. IQ tests are all about intelligence. Okay. Now, what's controversial about some of them is that some of them use terms that will be unfamiliar to certain people. If you've never, I remember this when I was younger, they were railing against standardized tests because if a question comes up and the whole question is based on a scenario about a regatta, right? If you don't know what a regatta is, you may be unable to approach the question properly, right? And so they claim that most of the standardized tests favor middle class and above white people because the scenarios that they present are scenarios familiar to middle class and above white people. I guess technically it would be middle class and above any people, right?
Hmm.
Because if you're rich, you know what a regatta is. Okay, if you grew up going to in regattas or sailing events, right? So if you grew up around regattas, it didn't matter how, because in order to grow up around regattas, you gotta have money. It doesn't matter what your skin
The
color
hell
was.
is a regatta?
What's that?
What is a
It's a
regatta?
sailing event. It's a
Um,
race. It's a waterborne race. That's what a
Boat
regatta
and
is.
yacht races.
Yacht racing, yeah. Like
you racing yachts?
yeah, like you've seen like the Americans Cup is the America's Cup is a regatta. They're not like yachts like Diddy has. They're like they're those
When did Diddy have a yacht?
I'm sure he's got a yacht.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure Diddy's got a yacht somewhere. It's
He
probably
said
and
Diddy
it's
had a
and
yacht.
it's probably called the Moby Dick
Oh,
or There She Blows. No, but a yacht, a regatta is so you've seen those. Basically, they're probably I think they're like 30 or 40 footers. They don't have engines. They have those gigantic sails, and the crew of people is I mean they're fast. They're really really fast. So regattas are sailing events.
Hmm.
The America's Cup is one of them. So if you look that up, hold on, I'll bring up something. Let me bring it up on screen.
The
Like
regatta.
Tommy Hilfiger does so. Actually, the whole Hilfiger brand is based around regattas. The Tommy Hilfiger, the white and red logo for Hilfiger, is
Mm.
a signal flag from yacht racing.
Yep, and that's why he said it wasn't made for black people.
Yeah. So so there we go. I mean, like that's the brand. In fact, and there's a whole line of Omega watch products that have that are designed for, like, I think there's an America's Cup, Omega. What's it called? I forgot the model name. Yeah, but they're all for racing. In fact, one of my watches, I've got a Breitling that's that same model. There's a regatta edition, right? And you'll see them. It's all about nautical flags.
Yeah.
Seamaster Regatta Titan.
What's that?
It's an Omega Seamaster Regatta.
Yeah,
The regatta must have been popping.
dude.
That's,
I mean, like,
he made a whole line about it.
dude, no, a lot of the watches are actually made. So there's a watch brand which is, I think it's defunct now. I've wanted one for a long time, but never thought really about getting it because it's not. I only buy things that increase in value, right? It's kind of, so I'm one of those watch people that's kind of a true collector will look down upon a person like myself in the watch world, because a true collector collects what they like, right? I would be like an art collector that only collected what I like as long as it went up in value. So I wouldn't collect art that would lose money, right? So if I'm buying it as much for the investment as I am for the fact that I like it, right? And I think that the value performance is kind of affecting if I like it or not, right? That's just the reality of things. So there's a watch brand called Quorum. Never got one. They look really cool. Never got one because they drop like a stone in value. They're never going to go up. And they make a really cool watch called the Quorum. I forget the name of it. It's spelled Corum, and the entire bezel is covered in nautical flags. And there's a version they make where the movement can track the tides. It's a really cool watch. It's awesome, but it's super niche and it goes down in value so fast. And so I just never. But it's really cool, and so it's a regatta based watch.
Regatta.
Okay.
I'm looking at it now. That's where sailing teams, and that's where they all get it now.
Yeah. In fact, what's his name? I mean, like, before this whole space race thing, before millionaires were trying to go to space, before millionaires were buying aerospace companies, those old school millionaires would invest in regatta teams, and they still do. They still do. A lot of these boats are super expensive, and it takes a lot of money to field a regatta team.
Yeah, and a boat is expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, I always go back because I still remember this to this day. I remember we had like a competition in college on and everybody had like different like research projects. And I remember my homie, he had his research project was something about space. I want to say it was like going to Mars or something like that. And the teachers, like, oh my God, super stumped him. Where it was like, I remember him working on this thing, right? And when she stumped him, I was like, dang, I ain't never thought about it like that. She was like, I don't understand why we spent all this time trying to explore other planets when we haven't even explored our own planet. We have not even explored most of the ocean yet, but you're trying to tell me that we need to go to space. And when she said that, it stopped me for a second, and it was like I never thought about it. And after that, it just opened up a rabbit hole where it was like, Jesus Christ, the Earth is like, what, 75% water. We haven't explored like 10% of it yet.
Well, think about that. I mean, like, there's a reason for that. I mean, and actually space too. I mean, why?
They lied about space. They're actually, like, Elon Musk know that they lied about space.
What do you mean they lied about space?
They lied about going to the moon.
Okay, we're going here now. We're going to.
It's the truth. Like they just broke it down. Like,
hold on. Okay.
When they went to the moon, all the moon landing and all the equipment they destroyed it. Why would you destroy something like that?
Well, no, they haven't. Okay, hold on. Okay.
And then what they said, to refuel and to get to the moon, it would take 12 rockets. They did it with one.
Okay, so
why don't we have that technology now?
What we got to do is this. Okay, so this is what I know. Okay, so before I mean, I'm gonna jump on the side of they did do it, right? But we can see the moon's surface. Not with a, I mean, technically you can look at it, right? But with a telescope, you could see the surface of the moon. I mean, that is the definitive yes, we were there moment. If you just gotta understand, because we planted a flag there, right? The footprints are supposedly still there because since the atmosphere doesn't move, everything there is pretty much permanent, right? Okay. So before we say that we didn't go there, okay, we just gotta look. I mean, we have to research and find out if we were, because you'd see the remnants of, because we left the flag and I think we left a rover. We left stuff there. The same way that the stuff on Mars is going to be there forever. Right? We landed a rover on Mars, right? There's a Mars rover. Okay? The Mars rover is going to be there forever. When it finally powers down, when it runs out of juice and it can't operate anymore, stuck there. Right? There's no wind on Mars. There's no wind on the moon. The moon is essentially almost atmosphereless. Okay, and that's why the flag itself, if you've seen the flag that they supposedly put on the moon, it's not a flag that blows in the wind. It's like a realty sign. You know, the realtor sign in your front yard. The pole goes in the ground, and then there's a thing jutting out, and the sign hangs from it. So the U.S. flag on the moon is like that. It has there's two pieces of whatever aluminum. Because the flag, if the flag didn't have something to keep it unfurled, it would just flop down, right? So the solution there would be to just look through a telescope because they know where it is if they put it there, right? And if you can see it, and if you could see it, we've been there. If you can't, we haven't. That's the simple. It's kind of like the ultimate solution for Loch Ness is to drain it if it's possible, which is not. It's not possible to drain that thing, right?
Yeah. I think it's not possible to go to the moon. Thus, we can't prove it.
Well, no, but
I just don't think it's possible.
Well, but that's your take, right? But I'm admitting I'm no rocket scientist. I don't have the understanding about getting there. But I believe that they did, right?
Man, and if we the man who's making the rockets right now. Just came out and said, I don't even know how they did that, and I think they were lying because I can't even get there right now.
But remember
and I'm making rockets.
Yeah, but that same guy is not exactly that stable, right? Who knows what he?
I mean, he's making electric cars, and electric cars all over the place.
But just like our grand and glorious leader, you can't trust half the stuff these guys say because a lot of it is for the views, you know. They'll say stuff just to
like they said they went to the moon.
But truly, Raymond, there's a calculation for H2 hydrogen that you can actually make to get the rocket out of space. I actually had a class that I had to calculate it. Yeah, there's supposed to be enough in the two tanks that you can actually lift it off the ground and get it out of the atmosphere. The tanks drop off at a certain point because you have enough velocity to actually escape the atmosphere. And there's a calculation. If I go back and find my old college books, I can find you that calculation. So that guy might be wrong on his calculation because I actually calculated it.
But I get it. But I'm listening to the person who's making rockets and shooting rockets into the air and bringing them back down to Earth. Yeah. And he said that I don't know how they did this. And then when you go and look at it, why would they destroy the technology that got us to the moon?
What do you mean they destroyed it? A lot of the technology that they use is on display.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that the Smithsonian.
Was it von Braun was the guy that actually made the calculations that are actually based on the things now? So all of that is able to be found. You can find those calculations somewhere. No, and they actually did it in my class, the class that I actually took in college, where you actually have to calculate the velocity for the space shuttle to leave the atmosphere.
No, but I'm gonna say this, okay? So when we talk about stuff that is, okay, so not going to the moon, okay, falls squarely under what we'll call conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So, and it's, I mean, like, people can believe what they want. Earth is flat. We didn't go to the moon. All sorts of things, right? But there's, the the version the version that is supposed to be real says we did, right? Now, if it can be proven, then we can look at, so we should be able to look at the moon and see what we left there.
Mm.
Right? And actually supposedly aren't they talking about going back again?
When they go back, I'll believe it.
No.
They ain't been back in how long?
Dude, no, but we have way more. I mean, like, they've reached Mars already. They have reached. I mean, the Mars rover is on Mars and transmitting images back to us now. So we've been. I mean, like, going to the moon should be no big deal anymore, right? We have people spending weeks and months actually through an administrative error. 2 U.S. astronauts spent months up on, is it Starlab or Space Lab? What's it called now? Our international. Oh, it's not even called either one. It's the ISS. It's the International Space Station.
Yeah.
Right. That's a thing. So going back to the moon should be no big deal now. But I understand that they're talking about doing it, and I think the reason why is they're actually floating the idea of a moon base, which is kind of weird. I mean, but okay. So back to it. Of course, there's a lot of this planet unexplored, right?
Mm.
But there's a reason why it is, okay? Because the environment is inhospitable, just like space. We can't exist in space without a lot of specialized equipment, right? Anything goes wrong, you're dead in space, right? Even going to this. Even something like what is it called? Parabolic flight, the vomit comet. You've heard of that thing?
No.
The vomit comet is a regular plane that basically reaches the edge of space. It's called parabolic flight, where a plane. This is how astronauts train. A plane goes up, reaches just the edge of space, and comes back down. So there's a period of like 15 seconds where you experience weightlessness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is called the vomit comet because people typically vomit when they ride this thing, right? And that is the cheapest form. Who is it who has? There's like 2, or is it which billionaires are trying to create space tourism?
Oh, Blue Origin with Bezos, yeah.
And who else is? Musk is trying to do the long-term Mars thing, and the other one, the original bad boy.
Oh, Branson's
is called Blue, right?
I thought it was Virgin. Space.
Galactic.
Virgin Galactic.
Virgin Galactic, yeah.
I think Virgin Galactic space packages are parabolic flight, is what they are. They're not going into space and staying at a space station. That's what they are. Yeah. So where are we going with that? Oh, so. To exist in space for us, if you wanted to go to the International Space Station, there's a chance the environment outside of the ship going there could kill you. I mean, not could kill you, will kill you. Right? The environment outside of your ship going there will kill you. The environment outside of the space station will kill you. The environment coming back down on the outside of the ship will kill you again. I mean, like, the entire time you're there, something goes wrong, you're dead. Right? Even trying to leave the atmosphere or re-enter it. Okay, you could die, just like what happened with which one was that? Was it Challenger? Which one exploded?
Endeavor.
Was it Endeavor? Like the one where they actually? I was there. I was in school when that happened. Trippiest thing I've ever seen.
I was Challenger.
Challenger.
It was Challenger.
Yeah,
okay.
we in real time we watch that thing go boom, right? Because you're strapped into this machine powered by several tons of compacted fuel. You're strapped to a huge bomb taking you out of the atmosphere, right? Once you leave the atmosphere, what's outside that ship can kill you. Right? Even going up the atmosphere, what's outside that ship can kill you. And then coming back down, it's craziness, right?
Wow.
Underwater is even worse. Okay? Well, potentially worse. I mean, like, because can we breathe? Can you breathe in space? Absolutely not. No. Right? It's cold as hell too, right? Basically, I don't even know if you can survive in the vacuum of space outside of your suit, even for seconds. I don't know if you can. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they know, but no one's ever talked about that. How long can you survive outside a spacesuit? I don't know. Is it possible? Okay. How long can you survive in the ocean without breathing apparatus? Okay. You might think as long as you can hold your breath, but no, it depends how deep you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like you can't survive outside of a pressurized vehicle at a certain depth for any amount of time because you'd be crushed immediately.
Right.
Right. Okay. So number one, the atmosphere can kill you. The pressure can kill you. The lack of oxygen can kill you. Okay. Can you see down there? Not at all. Okay. There's no light that penetrates beyond a certain depth. It has to be created man-made light, and it only goes so far, right? And do we know what's down there that deep?
I think it's more. I think people think it's more scarier than going to space. That's why they go to space.
I would be scared. I'd be more scared of that, right?
Yeah, because I mean, or even on a conspiracy thing, they're starting to say that the aliens are actually underwater, and they have vessels where they can move freely up underwater.
Actually, there's a conspiracy theory that I like that says that octopuses, how you, I don't know, like whatever the plural of octopus is, those creatures.
Or that they're aliens?
That there are aliens. Because they're unlike anything else, and they have incredibly high intelligence levels.
Super. And they actually color shift.
I mean, other things do that too. But
there's no other animal that really does what it does.
To that level.
It has so many different chromosomes more than the average fish.
I mean, there's very few things like it. The thought is that, okay, when we say that they're aliens, they're not like they came on a ship and are among us. Basically, the thought is that these things, whatever became them, didn't evolve here. Something life, it's alien life that crashed here inside a rock or something, and
potentially a meteor,
and evolved into that on this planet, right? Because nothing else is like them. Because they're bizarre creatures. I mean, they can fit through. Because you see them, they're like this big on one side of a pane of glass, and there's like a hole like this, and then all of a sudden it's able to go through the hole as if it was water, right? It's a creature with no skeleton. It's all muscle, and the muscle can change shape. I mean, the thing can almost become like a liquid, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't become a liquid. Its body is so I don't even know what to call it, right? It's insane, right? So there's thought that those are alien in origin. So we're not going to call them aliens, but they're alien in origin. They've been here they've evolved here for millions of years, but they didn't start here, right? So if we evolved from creatures that started here, those things evolved from creatures that did not start here. There's that thought. But the underwater world is scary as hell because at least in space, I mean, if you're trapped in an inert ship, so your ship goes up there and runs out of fuel, right? And what you've got for however long the oxygen is going to last, or however long the power is going to last, because when that ship can no longer keep the interior at a good temperature for us, you'll freeze to death anyway. So you're either going to suffocate or you're going to freeze to death in a drifting ship, right? At least you can see. Okay, if you have windows, at least you can look out in space and see stars or whatever. If you are in a vehicle underneath the ocean that has suddenly become inert, okay, same scenario, right? Even if there were windows, you ain't gonna see squat. You're gonna die in darkness. This thing took a really severely dark turn, right? Die in darkness 3 miles down the ocean.
Yeah, like what was that happened?
What was that? Yeah, those people who went to go see their Titanic.
Yeah,
a bunch of billionaires decided to hop into a homemade submersible, and what I understand, it was controlled by something that, like a PlayStation controller, essentially.
Yeah, it was controlled by a PlayStation controller.
Dude, what kind of person amasses $1 billion fortune and hops into a ship and sees the dude sitting there with a PlayStation controller saying, "Let's go"? Right? That's just that's just nuts.
I mean, but it's crazy because it's like a lot of expensive things are ran by inexpensive like products. I Like when I like it was shocking, but I got it. I understood it when they really talked about it. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like I can't believe y'all was in something that small and trying to go see the Titanic.
I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying?
well, the thing is, they've been there before. So
They had been there
okay, so
before.
this is not like the maiden voyage. That thing has done this before,
Right.
and I guess people have warned them before, right?
Yeah, you better watch yourself going down there. You tripping.
Yeah, it's just that no other organization really wanted to go. What's his face is, hasn't James
Cameron?
Cameron been down there?
Yeah, Cameron made it down there,
What did
yeah.
he take down there?
He took some just like that.
It must have been made better than that one.
And probably. But I mean, I don't think it was. I ain't gonna say it was made completely better. I think it was out of the same thing. He probably wasn't using a PlayStation controller. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's just a joystick.
Well, no,
He probably just using a joystick.
what took him down there was a the people that built that. It's a research team, so
Yeah.
they're actual scientists, and they're funded to create something going on to research. The guy whose vessel imploded, right? They built that specifically for tourism. So it was a business venture. Hey, we're going down there and so I mean, we don't have the time right now to go online and search it all, but I'm gonna say that Cameron's version, because Rolex was a sponsor.
Oh yeah,
Of
yeah. I
Cameron's
think he probably got a lot more money.
Yeah, in fact,
That's crazy. That's a
in fact, that's the origin of the deep. This is the Sea Dweller Deep Sea, right? There's two versions of this watch. One version is this is the black version. The dial is all black, right? The other version is it goes from the top of the dial is a lighter, a bluish black, and it gradually goes from bluish black to black on the bottom. Because that is to represent the layers of the ocean as you get deeper. So as you get down further, you lose light.
Yeah.
Right? And so this watch was created specifically to commemorate. So that version, the one that has the graduated dial, is the James Cameron. I believe they call it the James Cameron version. So they actually inspired the creation of that. But I think that he definitely had better funding. And of course he's been there more than once, from what I understand.
Yeah, Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. He went to the bottom of the ocean, came back, and created Avatar. It just changed his whole perspective on life.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like those, I'm not too sure that I mean, I wouldn't. I like the idea of exploration. Like, I like exploration on land, right? The funny part is that equip a trained human enough, and there's nothing on land that he can't take on.
Yeah, that's easier. Yeah, I get
Right?
it.
What's the biggest land animal? Elephant, right?
Like a bear? Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
An elephant's the biggest land animal, right?
Yeah,
But technically, I mean, they've killed people. They've killed a lot of people, but they're not predatory. Actually, the African animal that's killed the most people is the elephant. No, I'm sorry, the
hippo.
The hippo. Those are dangerous as all hell.
Yeah. It got a problem.
But a human being, equipped and trained,
Fuck a hippo
can take hippo out, right? Because number one, that the hippo is dangerous, right? And everything about it. You know how to avoid it, right? And
right.
Highly doubtful it's going to sneak up on you. Okay,
Definitely not gonna sneak on you.
Unless
you'll sneak up on it.
Yes, unless you're in its element. If you're in a boat on the Nile, yeah, you may have a chance of encountering it without seeing it, right?
Right.
So better than to be on a boat in the Nile.
Right, and they chase you.
Yeah.
In the water.
Yeah. So not to be in the water, right? So you can avoid it, and if it does come after you, I mean, you can take it on, right? You can.
Right.
If equipped properly. Equipped properly, we could take on bears.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they have a better chance of taking us out than we have taken them.
True.
Especially if they surprise you within 20 feet or two. But still, you have a fighting chance if properly equipped. You got no chance against something in the water.
No.
No matter what you're equipped with. something in the water could take you. I mean, like, there's so much fast because, a great white shark could sneak up on you in the water. They can come at you any direction they want to. Right? Even things that are friendly could kill you. I was watching the video where some dude was swallowed by, what the heck? It's one of those filter feeding whales.
Like a sperm whale?
No. Sperm whale have teeth. Sperm whale actually are meat eaters. They're predators.
Oh yeah. No, but it's the blue whale, right?
Well, yeah, like a blue whale.
Okay, yeah.
Or yeah, what else is like that? Blue whales. What are the biggest? I think blue is the biggest. Those things.
I think blue. Yeah, the blue is the biggest.
They open their mouths up, and then there's baleen. So they strain the water, right?
Right.
Just because they don't eat large things doesn't mean that they can't get large things stuck in their mouths.
Right.
Right. So a whale could cruise by you, filtering out shrimp and stuff, krill, and accidentally grab you. Right.
Right.
There was this other. I was watching a video, and a surface feeding filter feeder came up, and it grabbed the guy by accident. Right. And luckily the guy didn't get lodged in its mouth. He popped out, didn't get taken down by the whale. But think about that. If a whale grabs you, he's not even realize what you are.
Yeah.
He's not trying to kill you. You're just like spinach stuck in its teeth.
Yeah.
Right? Beluga, I think I watched the video where friendly whales killed somebody, like dolphin type whales.
Yeah.
They were playing with somebody and grabbed them and took them down. Didn't realize
they didn't know that he can. He didn't know he can breathe underwater. They found out. They was like, "Oh shit, we killed him."
He ain't playing no more.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait a minute, what's wrong with him?"
Who wants? Dude, I don't really feel like exploring the water.
I'll explore the water.
People can do that. Other people can explore the deep. I don't really feel like being down there and encountering some. Oh look, I'm the first guy to discover a 90-foot squid, right?
I mean, so like with deep sea exploration, I was in a drone. I wouldn't want to. Okay. I wouldn't want to explore that, because whatever that thing is, Ocean Gate, whatever that thing was called, that can happen. Like we can die.
Yeah.
I would rather send a drone, but as far as like under the sea, like what got me into it, because I've always been a water person anyway.
Okay.
But what really changed my mind on water was when it was a Joe Rogan episode, and I think the guy was everything. The guy was an astronaut and all types of stuff. And he talked about how he lived on the bottom of the ocean for 2 weeks. So they have like this facility that's at the bottom of the ocean. You go down there and you live down there for like 2 weeks. It's like it's pretty much like a cone, not a cone, but like like a bubble up underwater. So it's like you come up, and once you go, it's like he said, it's like coming out of the pool.
Yeah,
like
I've seen him.
You go to the bottom, you come out the pool, and bam, it's air in there.
Yeah.
So when he explained it, and I didn't he's not the only one who talked about it. It was a lady who talked about her experience down there, and she said she cried having to come back up. She said she loved it so much she didn't want to come back up. And I was like, dang. Even the guy talked about like how he interacted with the fish. He said, like, of course, you can't use the bathroom in the facility. He said, like, you got to put on, like, a snorkel, some, what are those? The flip-flops, the fins, and you swim out, and they got, like, a little outhouse type of thing. He said he swam out to the outhouse, and he walked out, and it was a big old grouper. Like, he said, like, a giant grouper, like one you not catching. And he said all he saw was eye, and he said it was that big, and he said after that initial encounter, the thing almost became their friend. Like the fish was waiting to see them. Of course, because it's like, what the hell are these things? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I would do that. Yeah, I would go live at the bottom of the ocean for 2 weeks.
You're talking about a much more primitive setup, right? Because
it was a primitive setup.
Yeah, I mean, because essentially what it is, I mean, okay, so imagine this cup, right? Turn this cup upside down and put it in water, and it traps air inside it.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, it's very simple. I mean, if air is trapped no matter what, so what you do is you build. I mean, basically, the cup has a lid with a hole in it. turn it upside down,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing. So that's, and I've seen they make really weird aquariums where the aquarium has like, so picture an aquarium, right, with a top like this, and a clear tubular, like a plexiglass tube is coming out of the aquarium, and then there's another aquarium on top of it, right? So the fish basically, it's like a fish elevator. They can swim up in the other aquarium. See, same scenario except it's reversed. It's instead of the air being on the outside and water being on the inside, it's reversed. Essentially, it's like an aquarium for us under the water.
Right.
Right. But the more advanced versions are different. I mean, the more advanced versions are like, imagine a submarine. Okay. Because, you can exit and enter a submarine underwater. Right. You can, because what they've got is they've got chambers where you enter. I mean, the chamber has water in it. So it's like in a bank, right? When in the bank, when those little rooms you get trapped in. So there was a period of time in the 90s where bank robberies were going crazy in Southern California, and every single bank forced customers to enter an anteroom. So the front door is locked. They buzz it open. You enter the room. That door closes, and now you're trapped inside the center room until the second door. So basically, they won't open the interior door until the exterior door locks. Right? So that's designed to stop you from escaping or from entering, period. So that's the way that... that
was actually smart. They should have kept that.
But it makes it slow getting in and out.
Yeah, I can get that too.
Right. So that's how a sub is. I mean, like, basically you open up the exterior hatch, you swim into this room full of water, close that hatch. Okay. There's another hatch you get inside. That room drains, the water drains out. They pump it out. Now you have air in there, and you can open the lower hatch, right? That's how you get in and out of a sub. You can anchor a sub permanently on the bottom of a body of water, right? And you can enter and exit that way instead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like the inverted cup scenario is the bargain way of doing it.
Right.
Right. So I've seen, and you can have bathrooms inside that facility, right? That will collect waste and pump it out like an RV at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you wouldn't release it into the ocean, right? But you would do something with it, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, again, it sounds like an experience, right? But the problem is this. I mean, like, thinking logically, if I wanted to go get an Airbnb cabin in the woods, right, in the mountains, it's kind of cool, because if the cabin was to be hit, I mean, if an earthquake comes and the cabin gets rocked and the foundation cracks and a big ass crack appears in the wall, it's like, okay, I mean, like, and as long as the cabin doesn't fall in on you, you're okay.
Yeah.
Right. If anything was to damage this thing that you're living in underwater, the outside atmosphere,
it's gonna be kind of hard to get back to the top.
Yeah, would get you, right. And that's the problem. I mean, like, that's the reason why, just the whole concept. And actually, the kind of cool thing would be to create something that has an underwater component, but connects to the outside. I mean, like, so now we're talking weird stuff. Imagine building a house that's partially underwater.
So then if it has like the bank system where you have a two door, that would make it better. So then if it ever cracked, then it would be just contained to that area.
Well, no. That's if that part cracked. What are the rest of it? We're talking about that part getting damaged is not that big of a deal, right? It's the rest of it that you worry about.
Okay.
Right. But imagine this. Imagine a house built on a coastline where a part of it is actually underwater, right? But you don't have to go through the water to get to it. You can just go down the stairs into the underwater portion.
Yeah.
Right.
I would live like that too.
Yeah, you can live the underwater life without having to go through.
And if it crack, it ain't that bad. I can swim up to the top.
Yeah, if it cracks,
it's just my house flooded.
Yeah, your lower basement flooded. Right.
My lower basement flooded. That will be cool, because like I don't know. It's just something that's serene about water to me. I love water.
And the cool thing is you can design it so that you can pump it out, right? It floods. I mean, like it floods, and so you have this pumping system. So if it does flood, obviously you have a repair person come out there and repair the crack, and then you can pump out the water. Like in the East Coast, we have bilge pumps in our basements. I used to, because I grew up in New Jersey, right? So in my basement, the foundation, it's funny, the foundation of the basement is not connected to the basement walls. So the basement walls come down, and then there's the foundation of the basement itself. There's a gap about 2 inches between the basement walls and the foundation. Okay, because the ground, because ground freezes over there, right?
Oh wow.
And so it expanding, contracting. If it was all together, it would crack, right? So there's enough room for the walls to move, so it doesn't. And in the corner, this is always really creepy. In the corner, because the space between the walls accumulates water sometimes, right? So water will accumulate, water will seep in, and there's a furrow there, and they run. And in one corner, there's a little something about the size of a Home Depot bucket. That's how big the hole is, and it goes down. Okay, as a kid, that's the scariest part of the house, because there's a pump in there that pumps the water out of the house. So all the water that collects in that little well gets pumped out of the house, right? But there's always water in it. So it's like a toilet, right? The toilet device, it fills up to a certain level, and then it stops pumping water in. This thing pumps water out to a certain level and stops. So there's always, and I don't know how deep it is. Is it 3 inches deep? Is it 2 feet deep? I don't know, because I was less than 10 years old, right? Yeah. But it's a freaking, you're in a dark basement and there's a well in the corner. It's like you don't want to get near. You can imagine all sorts of creatures crawling out of the well, right? So that's the way it's designed. So the houses there are constantly pumped. It's like a bilge pump that pumps the water out of your basement constantly. Once it goes above a certain level, the pump turns on and it drains the water until it gets there again. And it takes a long time for the water level to get up. But every now and then, you'll hear it turn on. Boom, boom, boom. And then it's just kind of cool. But yeah, I can imagine a underwater room, an underwater level of a house designed to be pumpable, because there's a good chance that there's going to be a leak at some point in time. And you don't want to have like an awesome hardwood floor down there that's going to get ruined by water, right? Because you're underwater. But yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have that. It's kind of Bond villainish, though, isn't it?
I mean, look, man. I think one day I will be a Bond villain.
Dude, have you seen that movie, The Meg?
No, I've never seen it.
You got to watch it because there's a research facility. It looks almost like an oil mining rig. You've seen those oil platforms out on the ocean, right? That's what it looks like on top, right? And then you go down and there's levels to it under the water. So there's an above water portion and there's an underwater. That's kind of how I see an underwater layer.
Yeah. That's something that I will create. Like,
yeah.
Coming from the oil rig, we're just gonna keep building downwards.
Yeah. And in that scenario, there's ways in and out from under the water. So there's airlocks under the water that you can use to get out. Right. And obviously, there's a place for a helicopter to land and ships to dock on top. So it has all the, and you can get to the underwater portions through elevators and stairs and stuff. You don't have to swim into it. You can get in any way you want to. And if you want to evacuate it, you just go up and out on top.
Yeah. Like, I think I guess the fictional reference that I have that's something like that is, you've heard of Metal Gear Solid, right?
Who? Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid, they have this term called Outer Heaven, and Outer Heaven was an oil rig. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, fuck it. Because, I mean, aren't most oil rigs on international waters?
I don't know. I don't know much about that. And here's something funny, though. Oil rigs, right? Do they actually touch the ocean floor? Are they floating there? What's the deal? Well,
I've seen a video on that. I think they do.
See, obviously they have to touch because the actual drilling is on the floor.
Right.
Right. So the drilling apparatus goes all the way down. So and how deep are they? Right. Like how many feet of platform is there coming out of the water because they got to be attached. It can't be floating there. Right. There's no way they're floating there. They got to be anchored. They got to be attached to the ground. Right. I'm curious what one of those things looks like on a cross section. How deep is it?
Hold on, because I have to look. Because
that's just insane. The whole concept of freaking oil rig is just an insane concept.
It depends on how big it is. So it's like 1,500 feet is touching the ground. The ones that are like, what is this, 10,000 feet are not touching the ground, but it has something tied to it that keeps it, what I'm saying, keeps it tethered.
But they got something drilling down there, right? How do they?
Yes, the drill is getting down there.
That is nuts.
But the overall apparatus is like tethered to it.
Crazy. Okay, human beings have created some crazy stuff. I mean, whoever thought that we'd be able to drill for oil like at 10,000 feet in the ocean? That's just
whoever figured that one out was a genius.
That's crazy, right? That's just insane. And how do they even know to look? There's that question.
Man, that's oil people. Man, oil people find oil anywhere.